Okay, guys, we are live. It's Thursday night. International break is over. Myself and Ivan, Keith will probably pop in at some stage. Or absolutely, those 2 weeks were the longest 2 weeks of my fucking life. I'm just looking at the fixtures. Obviously, we Watford on Saturday at Anfield. It's a 12:30 kickoff. I know, it's a potential banana skin in their yellow jerseys, of course, but we've a good record against them. MOSALAH in particular has a good record. He didn't have a good night the other night with Mane beating them again, knocking him out of the World Cup, which is good for us. He won't be in the World Cup, and LUISDIAZ won't be either. But we have some run of games now. It's all hands to the pump, Ivan. It's exciting. It's historical, possibly epic. Wow.
The big April, all right. Big April, huge games. And I think it starts on Saturday, as you said.
Oh, yeah.
I think, the result on Saturday is going to tell us a lot about how the rest of the season is going to go, because if we come back and we set down a mark and we beat them 3 or 4-0 or whatever, or we get a really good performance and we go top, it's brilliant. And then it's back with City. What do they do at Burnley? I'm so happy. I'm so happy it's back. I can't wait for Saturday. I really, really can't.
It's listen. It's going to be squeaky bum time. It's going to be, it's going to be fucking. It could be heartbreak. It could be fucking elation. You know what I mean? That's football for you. I mean, there is a chance we might only win it. We might only win the League Cup and say finish second and get. It's possible.
It's absolutely possible. But remember, we were talking a couple of weeks ago, and I think when you had one of the lads on from the UK on, it's about the journey, isn't it great? Let's enjoy it. And if we get to the final of the Champions League and the FA Cup final and we don't win, it'll be sad and be hard. Yeah, I think it was it? No, it wasn't James Pearce. It was one of the guys, one of the Scousers. I can't think of the chap's name. Steve Foster.
Oh, sorry, probably Anfield rap. Gareth Roberts, I think it was. Yeah. I have so many people on Ivan. That's the problem. I think.
Oh, you see, you're superstar media mogul.
Jack Mack, I actually sent you a link. If you want to pop in, you can pop in, Jack. Look, as I say, it's we're here for the ride. It's the Anfield Express. We're all on this bleeding train. We're all hoping it stops at the right stations, Ivan, which means FA Cup, it means Premier League number 20, and it means Champions League number 7. They're the stations we want to stop. But you've got to be on the train. You've got to be on the platform. And this Liverpool team are on the bloody platform.
Oh, we're right there. We're right there, yeah.
You know what I mean? Jack is saying he's absolutely right there. Could be the most exciting footy for the Reds. Well, to be honest,
we've never been in this position.
It is the most exciting time.
It is, yeah.
We won the league 2 years ago, 30 years in the making, and we had the league won in February, really, probably even in January. But to be in the position we are in, tomorrow is April Fool's Day, by the way. Don't get joked tomorrow. We're into April tomorrow. The game is Saturday, so it will be the 2nd of April before we kick a ball at Anfield. And to be in the position of 1 point behind Manchester City, still to go there, of course, and League Cup in the back pocket, FA Cup semi against Manchester City, and quarter-final against Benfica. And to be fair, a really good chance of getting into the semi without dismissing Benfica.
Yeah,
we couldn't
be in a better. Yeah, we couldn't be in a better place. I look back at things like 81, 84, 86, 89 when we were super. Even 1988 which is probably my favorite Liverpool team at the team in 98 with Houghton and Beardsley and all that. They were just class. As good as they were, and whatever the shortcomings of this squad are, we've never been this late in the season in 4 competitions as either favourites or second favourites, and with a really, really good chance. Now, as you said, we could come away with nothing and just the Carabao, and that's a reality. That's a possibility. But we could win 4 trophies. It's incredible. And think of the doom and gloom. Well, there was a bit of doom and gloom, I suppose.
Say in August. To be honest, even around Christmas time.
Even Christmas was what I was going to say when we were talking about missed transfer windows and where were we going, and Klopp not signing and the Salah contract and everything. And all of a sudden we signed LUISDIAZ, and all of a sudden we haul in 14 points to 1 point or whatever it is, or where it was. It's incredible.
He's certainly, I think Diaz, scored 2 goals, but it's just a catalyst of having him around the team, I think, having him on the bench, maybe making the likes of Salah, maybe making the likes of Bobby even when he comes on, or Mane, play better or say, listen, I better do something here, else this guy's going to be starting next week.
Yeah, no, it's his presence as well, Exactly. It's his presence. He's coming in and he's going, I want to be in the team. He's playing well enough to be picked. I think he's putting pressure on the other lads, but he's also, I'd say, buzzing off the quality of the other lads. So it's a win-win for everybody, you know.
No, Jack Mack is in the house.
How you doing, gents? Are you okay?
Right?
Yeah, apologies. Would have come on a bit earlier. Dave just had me tea. So thank you for the invite.
We're only on 5 minutes. We're only on 5 fucking minutes. Keith is meant to be here. You're filling in for Keith. Well, Keith can pop in if he wants, but I don't know where he is. But we're just literally talking about the epicness, Jack. You know all about it. Going forward, it all starts right now. The boys were back in training today. Everyone looks fit except for Trent. There's a bit of an issue with Trent, of course. Hopefully, I think he's ruled out for the weekend, but I wouldn't be rushing him against Watford anyway.
Yeah,
I heard he was ruled out. That's what I heard. But listen, I wouldn't rush him back though. Why would you rush him? I mean, you rush him back and something happens. He's missing for 2 weeks and he misses about 6 games in 2 weeks. Yeah. I wouldn't rush him. But Jack, what do you think? The epicness, the historical. I mean, it could be crazy. It hasn't been done before, the quadruple, as we know, and there's a reason for that, lads. It's so fucking hard to do. But if there's one team that can do it, I think
I don't think any team in history has been put. Probably is the older generation of 50s and 40s. Obviously, the great Real Madrid saying that they did buy the Champions Leagues like they did, and Juventus back in the day. So yeah, it's the positions that we all dream of, lads, innit? Obviously, every week, we're just got to focus on one game at a time. It's boring, but it's difficult as every fan around the world. We do look ahead, but obviously the lads are going to make us proud wherever it does happen. Even if we do come away with even the Premier League and the League Cup, it's still a very successful season. But it's phenomenal, lads, isn't it? And it's what more could you ask for, really? And long may it continue. And obviously the new signing of the young lad today as well. The future's so bright.
Ben Doak, from Celtic.
Yeah. So if it is the year in the next 5 to 10 years to take Liverpool on to the next chapter in terms of developing the youth within the squad. Every aspect of Liverpool will run perfectly. Obviously, there might be a slot, but if you look at it in overall pictures, there's nothing really for us to moan about, is there?
No, but you'll still get fucking moaners on Twitter and moaners. Yeah. You know what I mean? Especially if you don't beat Watford on Saturday. It'd be like the end of the fucking world. Because the build-up now is international break's gone, and this is it now. There's no pulling back. The train is leaving the station. You better get on this fucking train, baby, because the next platform is Saturday at Anfield, 12:30, Watford. So, Watford are deep shit. I'm fully expecting Liverpool to beat them. I don't think it'd be really easy. For the very fact that it's an important game for us, we have to approach it literally as like a cup fucking final because we can't even afford to draw games, especially with City playing at 3:00. Literally, Liverpool will be in the fucking showers after, singing after a lovely win, and City be coming out onto the pitch, getting ready to play an awkward poxy game, let's say, against Burnley. So we just got to pile the pressure on Ivan, get the win, sit back, look at City, and go again.
Yeah, like it's relentless, and it's exactly as you said. We need to be coming back. The lads who haven't been away on international duty are going to be coming for. I think Salah's going to be absolutely mad for a game, having been so unlucky again in their World Cup qualifier and some of the abuse that he got there. So he's going to be up for it, and I think Klopp is just going to be. He's going to be buzzing. You saw him celebrating at the FA Cup game and the previous game. He is right up for this. He's up for it. And I think we're going to hit the ground running on Saturday lunchtime, knock these guys out quickly, got a couple of quick goals, and pressure back on City. And it's like a boxing match between now and whichever one of us gets knocked down, certainly in the Premiership, you know.
I mean, I just think win the game Saturday, no matter what, even when you take 1-0, of course, but goal difference could come into it in the end. And to be honest, you'd be expecting to score a few against Watford. And Salah's a great record against Watford, hasn't he? His first ever Premier League goal, by the way, was against Watford. And he scored 4 against them at Anfield. I remember that one when he scored the 4, remember? Yeah. So he's got something hoodoo. So if, you'd be putting your money on Salah to get at least 1, maybe 2 goals, because he just hasn't been. I mean, I don't know when you watched the Egypt game the other night. He wasn't quite himself. I know most of that Egypt
That's probably
team,
the laser in his eyes for the whole of the game.
Yeah, no, but I mean his demeanor on the pitch. I mean, that Egyptian team aren't a great side anyway. They haven't really. I mean, Senegal are a decent side. They've a few good players. You know what I mean? They have a few really good players playing for top leagues. Egypt wouldn't be right up there. Salah only really sticks out. He has to do everything.
I think he's retired, or the
it looks like he did a big speech, didn't he?
Yeah, I think we'd retired if we were playing with El Neni, mate. that, as you said there, boys, that Egypt team is atrocious. No disrespect to them, but Salah, it's similar to, obviously, Lewan. There's a lot more Polish players in and around Europe and certain national teams when you look at them. But yeah, I think we seen Milner a couple of years ago early retire from England because he wanted to prolong his career. And I think Mo in the next 2 years, there's no young players come through Egypt. Apologies if there is any Egypt nationalist anyway, let us know if there is. But I can't foresee any young players coming through, and I think Mo will officially announce his retirement. But interesting.
Which would be good for us.
You look at Ronaldo, and it's an easier job for Ronaldo. There's so many Portuguese players coming through. He can still be that superstar in the team with everybody else doing the work. Salah has been doing. Salah has been doing the work for that team for the last 6 or 7 years. You know.
But I just see Mitchell Balson's is in here talking about the 5 sub rule, which of course was passed today. I think personally, Jack, it's great for the big clubs. To be fair, it doesn't really suit the bottom clubs. I mean, if you have a bench like Liverpool's, Chelsea's, United, City's, even any top sort of club with 5 players where you can basically change nearly half a team. Let's put it that way. It suits the top club, but it's great for Liverpool.
Yeah, I'd say it used to, like about 10, 15 years ago. But I think now, mate, as you said, the clubs within the Premier League are so strong. And even when you look at Leeds, I know they've been crying out injuries. I wonder what they were saying last year to Liverpool. But every club, even Watford and the teams down the bottom as well, even they've got... it favours... Yes, it does favour the top teams, but the teams down the bottom as well, they can promote a lot of youngsters as well and gives opportunities for a lot of... For me, I would have loved to have seen an adaptation to that rule, whether like 1 or 2 of those subs have to be academy graduates and at like under the age of 21. And if you adapted that to the top teams as well, then it just promotes youth within the system of English football. But I don't think it's that, but it would have been a nice little touch that if they done something similar for me personally.
Ivan, what's your take on the 5 subs?
Yeah, I think it's great. And I know Klopp loves it. Like, you look at the last couple of games where he's made 3 changes or whatever, and you can fundamentally change the game in an instant. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You can cover an injury. You can rest the player if you're kind of worried about him or whatever. But I think for the likes of ourselves and City and Chelsea and the stronger teams, you can really change a game.
You can change the dynamic of or flow of the game, basically.
Exactly. And it's not just bring on another striker, I'll try something else. You can actually change fundamentally how you're approaching the game. And I think it's great. And for someone like Klopp and Pep, who are master tacticians, for them, that's a dream come true for them, really,
Yeah. Vladimir Putin's in. How are you? Hopefully you're not well. Johnny Gooch, the Gooch Meister, speaking his Russian tongue from Canada. How are you, bro? A long time no see. Helen's not mad about the idea, of course. 4 subs, only 5 subs. No, it's always going to be 5. I think it's 5 in Europe, isn't it? So
isn't it funny? And everyone, sorry, Dave, but everything that Klopp has said over the last couple of years, it's happened. And like years prior, everyone was complaining about Klopp saying all this stuff. And now everything's coming to fruition, really, in terms of the press and everything. They're like, oh, it's a good idea, that. Klopp and Guardiola have been crying out since they've been in England, haven't they?
Well, look, Jack, at the end of the day, it's about money. It's about keeping the top elite players. That's the only reason people watch it on Bleeding Telly. For the likes of Diaz, Salah, Mane, Van Dijk. If they're playing too many fucking games, they're going to be injured half the bleeding season and he won't be there.
Yeah, I think what Klopp
there's too much football. There's too much football.
I think what Klopp and Guardiola have done, they're great for the fans and they come across great. I also think they've got a huge amount of influence behind the scenes in the League Managers Association and at UEFA and FIFA, based on what they've done. So their reputation means that if Pep Guardiola is saying something,
they'll be listening seriously. That's
Correct.
the fucking reputation.
Exactly. So they've got that stature now, I think, among the elite. And when you hear people in the media talking about them, there's so much respect for those two coaches, because of what they've done. So when they're asking for something, it's not for the crack, you know.
Yeah, Steve Richards was at the Legends game last week at Anfield. We seen the Gerrard penalty, but we ultimately, I think it was 2-1 the game. Rivaldo scored a lovely penalty as well.
Rivaldo batters his.
Rivaldo. It was a lovely, I tell you what, he was some fucking player, wasn't he, Rivaldo? Jesus Christ.
In fairness, Jack, I think me and you could have done a job out there last weekend.
Yeah, I was watching there. And my dad was like, "Yeah, you got a game, you know."
Did you see the guy running back to Mark Gerrard?
And he fell.
He was like moonwalking backwards, and then he just went back. That reminded me of five-a-side fucking 2 years ago.
The Barca goalie there, he broke his back. I think it was at the interception. He nearly on his back.
It was good for it was good for charity and stuff, and that's the main reason it was played. So, congratulations to Liverpool and Madrid players. John Wallace, Gerrard doesn't need to win us the league at the empty head. We've got the momentum. Yeah. Don't Villa play City? We play Villa near the end as well.
Yeah. We've got Newcastle the last game. I think they've got Villa the last game. Yeah.
Look, my eyes. I can't even think that far ahead. There's so many fucking games. I could go haywire. It could literally anything could happen in the next even week. Like think about it, the next week even. You've Saturday. You've a league game, Watford. Midweek it's Benfica. Then you've got fucking the big one, the empty had stadium next Sunday week. That's everybody's pointing to that. But I think Saturday's huge for it. We have to win Saturday, put the pressure on City. It's game. You only can't get game by game. I can't even think ahead of the semi-final of the FA Cup. Can't think ahead to Benfica. Has to be Watford, Jack. Has to be.
Yeah, 100%, boys. It's all for nothing. It's all for nothing next week. It's the whole eyes of the football world will be on Liverpool and City, even the Bundesliga fans of Spanish La Liga, because it is basically the El Clasico of world football, because the two best teams in European football going head to head, and as much we were leading the reverse fixture, weren't we, a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
A couple of months ago, sorry, but that was probably one of the best games, not for us, but in terms of if you're watching it as a neutral, it was
really good game.
A madness game.
Yeah.
But hopefully Trent's fully fit. Did we play Milner right back that day?
Milner played, yeah.
Yeah, and he got absolutely torn.
Yeah,
so fingers crossed. But yeah, I'm excited, mate. And we don't know. Got to focus on Watford and fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think we'll beat Watford, to be fair. We'll go through what team we'll play now in a minute. But Helen's going, do you see the MOSALAH, the King of Egypt mural on Anfield Road? I think it's one of the better ones. I like it. I think it's a proper. Were Redmen TV involved with that?
Might be.
I forgot to ask Steve. I'm not sure who was involved with. I know they obviously were involved with the Henderson one. The Anfield Rapper involved with the Trent one. The original one on Anfield Road. But murals coming. I'd love one in Dublin, to be fair. I'd love a Klopp one in Dublin. I might look into that if we win the league this year. A Klopp one in Dublin. That'd be top of the range.
Where would we put it? Where?
Do you know where we could put it? There's spots they do the murals with bows down in Fisborough. They're similar to Liverpool with the red brick houses. They do a lot of murals in that area, if you've ever noticed, like of musicians and stuff like that, Bob Marley and all that. So something like that.
I'd love a Bob Paisley one in Newcastle or something, and then like a one in Scotland for Shankly anyway. That'd be lovely.
There was a great chat the other day. I think it was on Redmen TV, and they were talking about managers. Great Liverpool managers, and I was just thinking. Obviously, you Shankly, who built the foundation for Liverpool, he was the foundation by putting in the cement. Paisley was the bricks of the house. He was basically the bricks of Anfield. He was the house. He won 20 trophies, something ridiculous like that.
29 in like 10.
Like he basically put the trophy. Shankly built the foundation. Without Shankly, it doesn't happen. But then Paisley went in, bang, built it like that. But for me, I think Klopp with Shankly DNA. I mean, I think Klopp is the fucking roof from stops us getting wet. I think Klopp is the roof on a windy day, keeps the house warm. And I'm hoping there's loads of trophies in that fucking attic, baby. Let's go.
Yes,
It's looking good. What? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
There's loads of fucking people coming in here now, and I've missed loads of comments. Dave, you going to go to Liverpool for the Open Bus Top Bus Parade? Listen, if we win number 20, baby,
they'll either be on my top of my house. It'll be on
Jack,
top of my
Jack,
house.
you're sleeping on the ground floor. I'm sleeping in your bed.
So we'll be outside Anfield, all of us. Everyone's welcome.
Oh, yeah,
it's gonna be.
Right. You'd be over Ivan as well, wouldn't you?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely. I'd have to get over for a fucking game before the end of the season. That'd be even more important, to be fair. What we got here? Del Boy Gunner TV. What's that bleeding story? Del Boy Gunner. Say he's a happy gunner at the moment. I mean, Arsenal have a great chance for top four. They should not slip up, to be fair. I mean, if they get in ahead of the Manx, it'll be an extra little bonus trophy for us, lads. You know what I mean? Absolute bonus. Eamon Kelly. Hello, fellow Reds. Hope all's well. Red Javi. Just win, win, and win. And win again. Shankly's mural is painted on the gates of heaven.
Oh, yeah.
Look, guys, big game, as I say, Saturday, 12:30 Anfield. What team would you go with? Obviously, Alisson's back in goal. Keller, actually, before we go back to Alisson, Keller had two games for Ireland. He had a 2-2 draw against Belgium, and he got a clean sheet against Lithuania. Last-minute fucking winner, 96-minute winner from Troy Parrott, who's very good playing off the shoulder. But other than that, it was good just for Keller, I think, Ivan, to get 2 games.
Oh, definitely. Great.
Camps, you know,
didn't have a whole lot to do certainly in the Lithuania game. Didn't do anything wrong, but I think great to get in. Good, and I think a good gesture after by Mignolet coming over and congratulating him.
Mignolet, yeah,
Klopp sent the jersey as well to his club, to
his schoolboy team in Cork, isn't that right?
Yeah. No, great to get him in. I think he's a top keeper.
No, absolutely. So, right, boys, I want your starting 11 for the big game against Watford. I'll give you mine. I'll give you my 11 at first if you want. Obviously, Alisson's in goal. I think Trent's still an issue. I'm not going to start Trent for the very fact that I don't know. It's touch and go. I wouldn't rush him in, to be fair, with so many games coming. I want them for the really. I think we've enough to do. We've enough to play out there against Watford and win them without having Trent there, to be fair, having to risk him. I think Van Dijk, Matt to come back in. I think Robbo's there. Who do you play back? Maybe Gomez. I'd have no problem playing Gomez back there. He needs a few games. I know Milner can play there too. I think we got to go strong. I'd go Thiago. I'd go Hendo. I'd go Fab. And I would go Diaz, MOSALAH against the team that he loves scoring against, and Mane. I'd leave Bobby and Jota on the bench. And I think that would be enough. And we should be beating them probably 2 or 3-0. I'll go 3-0.
Yeah, I'd agree with him, mate, but I'd throw in Trent. I reckon he's just blagging it.
Well, if he's fit.
If he's
fit, I'm thinking he's not fit, Jack. If he's fit, he fucking plays, but I'm not sure.
I called it a couple of weeks ago, mate. I said, literally, he's
sort of an England duty thing. Let's say you're interested.
Scouts Republic of Liverpool, mate. He doesn't give a crap about England.
He had a niggle. He did have a niggle, but was it as bad as what you're saying?
Fergie was renowned for it when he made he just told the other players, especially at this point in the season, it's pointless. If Trent did have like a little niggle, you don't really want him to be picking up anything too major. But yeah, I'd drop in Henderson there, mate. I think obviously Gomez done very well in the cup, didn't he? He won if not one of the man of the matches for that game, really marauding down the right hand side. A better option, I'd say, than Nico. Nico's doing quite well at Fulham, mate. But,
he's doing well,
yeah. I'd apart from Trent, mate, I'd agree with you starting 11, mate.
Ivan?
Yeah, I would twist a little bit. So I was reading a good thing during the week, right? So Gomez played really well going forward, but do we actually need him? Let's say Trent is out for a couple of weeks, right? I'd actually start Milner against Watford because we probably don't need that whole attacking threat of the 2 full-backs and the 3 boys up front, and maybe hold Gomez for Benfica, where we might need a bit of a more of a attacking threat there against them. So I'd also start maybe Bobby up front. So Bobby, Diaz, and Salah for me. Bobby's been really good.
Rest. Bobby wasn't away with Brazil, was he?
Yeah, no.
Helen's going Alisson, Milner, Matip, Van Dijk, Simicas. Okay. Hendo, Thiago, Keita, Mane, Bobby, and MOSALAH. Red Xavi is going. Fab, Thiago, Jones in his midfield. I presume he's talking about there. I forgot about Jones, by the way. That's another possibility, to be fair. Kelly, Diaz, Jota, Salah. Do you know what's great? We've got options, lads. That's what we're talking about. We're actually mixing the fucking team up about 5 times here. We weren't able to do that 6 months ago. Now we're able to do it every bloody week. And it's going to be important to do it.
Yeah. And I think Klopp has probably... it's great for him, but I still think he has his favourite. And his favourites in the middle are the 3 boys, right? There's no getting away with that.
Thiago, Hendo, Fab, yeah.
Of course. And now what he will love to do and what he can do because of the quality that's in the squad, if we're 2 or 3 up at 60 minutes, boom, 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 the boys are off and Curtis comes on.
All eyes on Benfica, you know what I mean?
Totally. So it's a great position to be in.
Oh, it's as I say, it's nervous, it's confidence. I mean, you have to be nervous. If you're not nervous coming into this run of fucking games, you're either lying or something fucking mentally wrong with you. I mean, you have to be nervous. And to be fair, probably like a singer or an actor or whatever, being nervous going on stage sometimes is actually quite good, you know.
Of course.
I'm not going to be able to speak to me, man, or anyone in the house for like the week building up to obviously the City game. I think it'll all be like a bloody...
Well, to be honest, Jack, we got to do the job. My eyes will be on. I mean, imagine slipping up against Watford. You know, you're going into the City game under even more for having to win it. A draw is no use.
As I said to you at the start, like it's a banana skin, but it's one. Like if we don't win that game, that sets potentially a bad tone for the rest of the month, right?
Yeah.
And then we go into
pressure on you, doesn't it?
Yeah. So let's say we don't beat Benfica, it's a 0-0 or something like that. And we have to get a result in the second game, and there's no away goals, and it becomes a murky story.
You really look from starting the podcast off like that, and then oh my god.
Oh, it could absolutely, but I don't think it will. So I think I'm really looking forward to Klopp's press conference tomorrow, right? Because he's going to be clinical. We'll respect the opposition. We love where we're coming into this. We expect to win. The boys are up for it. He's going to be buzzing for this, absolutely buzzing. And I think we're in for. I know the timing isn't great to 12:30, but I think we're going to be in for one of those classic. From the start, 20 minutes, a blitz of attacking football, and if we get that then sets the tone for the month, and we're in this, lads. Next game, let's go.
Yeah, well, all your eyes will be on the City game. To be fair, straight after, you know, they play potentially a bit of a banana skin. You know, City and Burnley could end up being a draw there.
Exactly. So just chip away at it. You know, knocks the confidence, and then all of a sudden. We might draw at the Etihad, and it doesn't really matter because
that's what I'm saying. To be fair, and I've asked Ivan and Keith this before, Jack, but for me, we're going ahead of ourselves because that's the City game. We know is Sunday week. We've got a Benfica game and a Watford game before that, but that City game for me, if we beat Watford, cool, you know, because if we didn't beat Watford, it is a must-win fucking game. But I mean, if we beat Watford, it becomes a not lose game. For me, don't lose the fucking game.
I totally agree.
Yeah, 100%. Nice.
A win's a bonus, of course.
Because there's big games and there's teams in there: Spurs, Arsenal, Man United, all going for top 4, and City have to play them. There's teams at the bottom. Everton are still in the mix. Leeds are still in the mix. Burnley are still in the mix, fighting for their lives.
Yeah, Everton have to fucking play us in the mix. You know,
against us, I'm not too worried about us. Like they were so unlucky against Man City. I actually think it's those other teams that'll have an influence on City more than us. I think when we're playing well, we're blowing the teams away. When we're not playing well, we're scraping wins. With City, when they're not playing well, they're not getting the results, and I think that's the difference. Like we have those 5 strikers.
We haven't been up until the Leeds game. That 6-0 game where we fucking blew Leeds away, and just Leeds suited us. That's the way they played. They just go all out attack, and if you go all out attack against us, you will usually lose by a few goals, right? So Watford aren't going to do that, Eddie. So my problem is we haven't been banging in the goals. Look, go back over our few games. I mean, it was a 0-0 in the League Cup on penalties against Chelsea. It was a 1-0 against West Ham. You could say we were a little lucky in that game, to be fair. They had 2 great chances in that game. We won 1-0. Beautiful. There's even the West Ham game,
though, the first 20 minutes, we were all over them. all over them. We could have been.
You've got to be clinical.
Oh yeah, I agree with you.
Got to be clinical.
That's different to say the Forest game, where I don't think we played particularly well, and we didn't create that many chances. It was a very even game. With West Ham, if one of those chances goes in after 5 minutes, different game entirely, completely different game.
But that's grand. But if we're playing Watford on Saturday and it's 1-0 in the 80th fucking minute, and the crowd are starting to, I mean, you'd rather be in a position of 3-4-0
totally.
maybe.
I just think there's a difference between winning 1-0, having dominated a team, and scraping 1-0 where you haven't played particularly well.
It's a big difference.
That's the difference between the Forest and the West Ham game, where I thought we were great against West Ham. We were very poor against Forest, and we were lucky to get through it. But we're doing both, and I think regardless of who we're coming up against, we're getting the win, whether it's a scrappy one or whether we're dominating and we're nicking one.
That's usually how you win fucking trophies, when you get scrappy, horrible 1-0 wins and you get 2 or 3 unbelievable.
I also think the Arsenal game was a very good measure of where they are, having been really under the caution that first half and kind of backs to the wall really. And Arsenal, possibly, if they had scored towards the end of that first half, you don't know what the second half would have been. It could have been. Yeah. And then to just turn it around in the second half, a bit of quality from Thiago, it's game over. It's game over. And they toyed with Arsenal for most of that second half, and they didn't get anywhere near the edge of our box, you know. So it's quality stuff that they have at the moment. They can do it lots of different ways.
Yeah. Jack, I mean, it's going to be crazy. You're going to be doing podcasts every fucking 2 days. So I'm going to be twittering and tweeting and fucking doing everything with Ivan and Keith and yourself and everybody else. But it's just, I've never seen it. You haven't seen it. April like this, you have a trophy in the back pocket and you're fighting for the next 3. Crazy.
It's the Anfield factor, mate. I know, especially there will be a moment in time in the next couple of games where the Anfield crowd will be needed, whether that be in the semi-final of the Champions League, against Benfica second leg. We're playing at home second leg, and obviously in the league. Even if it is 9, 10, 1-0s in the league from now to the end of the season.
Fucking I'll take that.
We'll take it. Like 1-0 to the Liverpool. We'll change the motto to.
Fucking right, you take that.
Yeah, but the Anfield, I can't wait, lads. Obviously, I'm hoping the TV companies do put a load of mics around the stadiums and really pick up everything. But yeah, that place will be, and everyone around the world, even all of us, will be going absolutely mad in the house. A couple of tables might be getting flipped, or your dinner might be going over across the wall. Jack? I was meant to be going to this game this weekend, but I couldn't go, sadly. But possibly I might be going to 1 or 2. But make sure it's his season ticket. If he allows me, Sean, don't you watching that? But it's up to him. But I just, even being around the ground, or just if you go to pubs in and around your gaffs as well, and it's going to be something special. As I said at the top of the show, boys, in my comments, could be the best. I know we did win the league, but we didn't really win the league. It doesn't feel like we won the league. Do
you know what it reminds me of? And like, it's a good call out, Dave or Jack, on the crowd, because they'll play a part somewhere. It reminds me of the year under Rodgers when we just fell away after the Chelsea and the Palace game. Having been a fan for 30, 40 years, and having not won it for so long, to be in that position, like the momentum was buzzing, the excitement was there. And we were watching those games, and we beat Man City, and it was like, oh my God, we're there, we're 5 points clear. The excitement, that's the closest I can describe it. But we're in a much stronger position now, because we're a much more complete team. We've got a better coach.
Plus, we won the league. That monkey's off our back. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, did you finish, Ivan? Sorry, like, just.
I'm going, buddy.
Yeah, it was just my.
Jack's like he's in Daft Punk or something. The way he's talking. Go on.
My Jag internet. Probably the fucking Everton fans next door. On the internet. But yeah, no, it's, as you spot on there, Ivan. I think that all of us, every fan around the world, now we've watched this Liverpool team over the last 3-4 years. I think all of us have matured, and even the team has. I think maturity when you're in these great positions. We know we can do it in Europe. obviously the Real Madrid defeat was a massive learning curve, not just for us fans, but for the squad, most importantly. And we've seen that 6, 8 months after as well. And we go to Madrid and win it against Tottenham. So the maturity levels, and I think the fans have learned now, like that we did get giddy when we did beat City, and obviously Hendo gets sent off, and that, everyone knows the story. But I think now Klopp, he'll just look. He won't have to do none. The fans will know, and even everyone going into the pubs in Ireland and everywhere. There was something when I watched that game, lads. I don't know how you felt when I was watching the City Crystal Palace game. There was some force keeping that bloody ball out of the net. It was hitting the bar, and you're like, "Oh, Bernardo." So it's like, how, like something at the back of my head or something. It's like.
That's what's called fine margins. That's the fine margins. You know what I mean? That was the only game. That was the game not to lose, by the way. And we lost that game 2-1. And ultimately, you could say it cost us. They went on a 14-game winning run. Remember the game in 2018, was it? 2018-19 season, when City won by 1 fucking point. So I'd love to turn the tables this year and beat them by 1 point. That would be fucking dreamland.
The other thing you called out there, Dave, or Jack, the discipline. The discipline over the last couple of years has been absolutely superb. I tell we only had 1 red card. Was it Fabinho, I think, had a red card?
Yeah.
And Robbo for that dodgy one as well. Everyone's
Robbo got one as well, But as you said, discipline. Discipline is huge. And that's what Klopp is like a school teacher or school master. Yeah. He won't put up with bullshit. We see what happened fucking, what was his name? Sacco. Yeah. No messing. You can do the messing. You can do the joking when it's appropriate to do it and at the right time. Yeah. But if it's taken out of context or you don't do it the right thing, you have to put the hard work in. He is like a taskmaster, basically. That's what he is, you know, and a father figure all rolled into one. That's why I always say he's like fucking Shankly, because Shankly was very similar with his one-liners. And I don't know whether you've seen the BT Sport, the Klopp, the boot room.
Yeah,
the boot room thing. The Klopp. My old mate Peter Houghton was interviewing Klopp the other day, and he was, I was tweeting him about it, and I was asking him actually. I says, Klopp, because you've just interviewed him yesterday, like, is he like what we think? You know, is he like what you see on the tin, like a Ron Seal lad? Is he exactly what you see on the tin? And that's exactly what he said he is. He's what you see, he's what you get with Klopp. There's no fakeness. It's bang. That's it. What you see is what you get. You know what I mean?
And I think players respect that more, don't you, Dave and Ivan? I think if obviously the modern day foot manager now, Mourinho, when he was at Inter Milan in that era, time period,
he's a waffler.
Yeah, but now, like the modern day manager has changed. Players are more prima donnas. They do a bit more. Oh, I'm going to speak to the agent. You can't say anything bad toward these players, but Jürgen, it's probably a lot more better people in terms of psychology and everything. Footballers, he knows exactly if they've had a bad day, he knows everything, he cares about the players. And I think that's even Guardiola to a certain extent as well. Both of them demand so much physically from these players, but you know how to balance the minds of these elite players. And that's something that certain managers have mentioned with Mourinho. He's not really transitions over the last 10 to 15 years in terms of his management. Obviously, he was a great manager then, but that's where I think he's struggling now. That's why he's at Roma. No disrespect to Roma, but that's where they really do find himself now.
Yeah, I'd agree. And I think, like Brendan Rodgers, I think is another good example where I think I don't want to call him a spoofer, but I don't think he found that balance either. Where I think some of the things he was suggesting, while it might be appropriate for maybe younger players coming through and they could buy into it, some of the older players were kind of going, don't think so, Brendan. And whereas Klopp and Pep, I think they've cracked that balance between old school, hard, direct, and now also managing these massive egos of multi-millionaires. But the two of them have
do you know what it's like? It's like having the perfect. It's, to me, the way Liverpool are, as you just said, they're young, old. You've got full throttle physicality. You've got the finesse. It's like One Direction being mixed with fucking AC/DC and making a band out of it. I mean, you're suiting fucking everybody there. You know what I mean? You've got the heavy metal AC/DC fucking guitars, fucking physicality of it, the brutal honesty, and then you've got that finesse. I'll go say Boyzone. I might use Boyzone or Westlife. You know, you've got that different sort of youth, and you know. So for Liverpool, we've got a beautiful mix. We have got a beautiful mix. I actually looked at the podcast the other day. a lot of neutrals, even some United fans, actually, YouTube channels are turning more towards Liverpool in the last few weeks than they were for City.
You see how he's handled. There's been a couple of incidents where the likes of Milner or Henderson, even Mane and Mo, have been taken off and have been physically upset about it. And even in Milner's and Henderson's case over the last couple of years, they've actually confronted him and said something, or he's confronted them and said, "You haven't shaken my hand."
Walking past,
and he's dealt with it. Whereas with other managers, that could blow up into something. And he speaks about it at the press conference, plays it right down. Now I'm sure he's hauling them into the office the next day to make sure, lads, that doesn't happen. It's unacceptable. But he doesn't make a big deal of it at the time. Whereas you can see other managers, they'd either completely ignore it and pretend not to see the player, or they might react and get engaged and involved. So I think he's just found that sweet spot to covering all the bases with all the different types of personalities and backgrounds and whatever else they have in the club.
For me, I mean, everybody's talking about MOSALAH and his famous contract and stuff like that, and I still think he will sign. But for me, the number one man is Klopp. I mean, let's be fucking real here, lads. Klopp is the glue. Klopp is the glue. I mean, Klopp's gone in 2 years, by the way. As of now, for me, the dream is Klopp signs an extension. I mean, the double dream is Mo and Klopp signing a Klopp-Mo double extension. Imagine waking up to that in the morning, Jack, at 9. I'd be fucking like this in the job. What's going on? Klopp-Mo, say till 2026 or whatever. Say another 4 years.
Yeah.
I think it's possible with Klopp, and I'll tell you why. I'll give you my reason on it. I think it's just in the last few months since Christmas hit, my mind would have been Klopp's a man of his word. He never changes his mind. His family's his family. He wants to go back to Germany, have us a year off sabbatical. What's changed my mind is the signing of the likes of Diaz or Cavallo probably coming in. Even that young lad Ben Doak from Celtic as well today. He's looking at that squad going, wow, this is a proper squad. I'm having the time of my life. We've had a weird, bad 2 years. We won the league when, as Jack said, there was no one to fucking celebrate. I'm sure he wants a parade this year for the league. He already said that a million times. But I think he's looking at the squad going, there's another Champions League or league in this squad. And I'll only have 2 years. But if I can get another 2 or 3 players, rebuild again, nice little turnover, hand it over to the likes of Pep Linders or maybe even Steven Gerrard. But I think there's a glimmer there.
Yeah, and I read a couple of rumours during the week that he's opened contract talks have been opened with him. Yeah, whether it's true or not, I don't know. But I'd agree. But also the other point, though, Dave, is when the likes of Carvalho and Diaz are coming in, I'm sure that his contract is a discussion point there, right? So is Klopp going to be here in 4 years' time? Am I only going to sign for 2 years, or is he possibly going to hand over after a year to Pep or whatever? Do you know what I mean? So I'd be really positive about him signing, and I think you're completely right. He's kind of looking at it going, I'm building my second team here now. I think a lot rides on how successful we are this year. Like if we go on and win 4 trophies.
You could retire right there. You know what I mean? I'd retire the YouTube fucking channel. Gee, what have you done to play for? You wouldn't fucking
or you could see it with the likes of Klopp. He could go, well, we've done 4 this year.
I mean, you're not going to. That's going out on a fucking. You know what I mean?
I would say he'd see it as this is just another step forward, and we're going to dominate again next year. So I think it's all positive, and it'd be a dream if the two of them sign, an absolute dream.
Yeah, 100%.
Claire Dean, all the way from Peru, is in the house. Hopefully, you are having a great time in Peru, Claire Dean. Always great to see you. Hit the like, guys. We're going to stay on for another few minutes. Ivan, you can float with any time you want, my friend. But we stay on for a few minutes because there's loads of people popping in here. Love from Nepal. I love when I'm live, you know that? Someone from Peru, someone from Nepal. Saw you on Menace and the Monk. Yes, I was on Menace and the Monk last week, an Indian Liverpool channel, by the way. And they have a huge following in India. One of the guys actually worked for like Sky Sports in India.
That's amazing.
I'm at Champions League and stuff like that. Hopefully you're well, my friend. Thanks for popping in. Hit the like, guys. We get more people in. That's usually the way it works with YouTube. Klopp staying, where in the world would he go? Well, exactly. Where can he fucking go? Nowhere better than Liverpool. We all know about that. But you have to take into context as well, lads, his family. I mean, his wife, Ula, his wife, and I mean, if they're not kids, it's 2 sons, Kevin, and I mean, they're in their 20s, you know what I mean? Let's be real. But, you know, it's hands-on. It's 24/7 a manager. It's like a fucking doctor's job. Let's be real. Your phone's beside your side here. Yeah. You know, it's a 24/7 job.
It's a vocation, and I think he's probably looking at Ferguson and others. Like the time will go so quickly, and if he signs on for another 4 years, very soon he's going to be 70. And whilst that he'll have a very successful 20 years at the club, he probably doesn't want to be someone like Ferguson, who when they retire, they're an old man. And I don't mean that. Sits in the
stands watching the TV shine.
I'm not sure if he wants that, and you know, maybe there's stuff that he wants to do physically himself, as he wants to go skiing or snowboarding or stuff that he wants to make use of these years for. I don't know, but I think for every Liverpool fan, they give their left arm for him to sign.
I tell you what,
100%.
He's the number one for me. Claire is actually in Bolivia, not Peru. Maybe she's in La Paz in Bolivia. What else have we got here? Stateless. Loads of people in here I've never seen before. But we'll stay on for. We'll give it another 5 minutes, I suppose. But I mean, we're back to look. We'll just put a little scenario in before we go. Watford the weekend. We win. We win 2-3-0, whatever. We get the 3 points. We go forward. You're still expecting City to win, to be fair. We're just hoping they won't get something at Burnley. It's possible, even a draw. You know, Burnley are a horrible team. Anything can happen. But
I don't think any of us saying anything bad against Burnley ever again. No, I won't. If they do get I won't say anything bad ever again about Burnley if they would somehow get a point or something better.
Yeah, well, look. A draw, fucking hell. I mean, that would set up next week. To be honest, even two wins will set it up next week anyway, because you'd be going into it with a point difference, slightly, hopefully better goal difference still. But it's really a dream of mine to go to Anfield, just praying to God to lend me a chance as Prazol from Nepal. Wow, that's on distance to go to Anfield, isn't it? But that's the thing about going live. I'm saying, Jack, I'm sure it happened to you as well. Yeah. The likes of Rod Meta from Australia and that guy. Was in earlier. Johnny's from Canada. You've got Ravi. I'm not sure where Ravi's from. Stateless is from nowhere. He's no state. But I mean, Claire lives in Peru, as far as I know, but she's in Bolivia. But it could be anywhere. It's worldwide. It's LFC family. That's, for me, the brilliance of it, isn't it, Jack? I mean, it's not just Liverpool or England or Ireland. It's fucking everywhere.
The Reds family, and even when Liverpool was so dominant in the 70s and 60s, like obviously the power of the internet now, obviously you got your downside in terms of negativity, but there's lots of positives. I've met you, Dave, met Ivan. Hopefully meet Ivan in real person as well after come what may. We do win everything. And obviously it's been a bit of a mad year over the last 2 years for everyone. So yeah, it's football, man. It unites people in every walks of life, and obviously the horrible stuff that is happening in the world. I think football is an escapism for a lot of people, it just gives you that good something to look forward to in the week. Whether your team's doing good or bad, but it's absolutely phenomenal, mate. And we wouldn't change it for even when I'm not even live to 90. Hopefully, I do. But hopefully, we've won a lot more league titles by then.
Oh, we won a few leagues. Fucking 90, Jack. I'll be probably long gone, because I'm probably 20 years older than you, but I'll be 110. But no, look, it's been crazy 2 years. I mean, we've also got a war in Ukraine. Let's not forget. I mean, it's just fucking craziness going on at the moment. It seems to be every year is getting crazier. But the football certainly has dragged me through the last 2 years. I don't know. I'm sure same with you, Ivan. Jack, I mean, it hasn't been the same watching though without crowds, to be fair. I mean, I found that a hard watch. I'm delighted crowds are back. And it looks like, we're not out of the woods yet, but looks like we could be on the tail end of this bloody pandemic. But Jesus Christ, the football just and to be in the position we're in now, what, April Fool's Day tomorrow? No April Fool's Day jokes. It's not till tomorrow. Not till tomorrow, but we're in the position we are. And as I say, and I said it before, lads, obviously I hope we win all 4. I just think it's, to do it is going to be really hard. Is it possible? Yes. Is it doable? Yes. Will we do it? I don't know. You know what I mean? We'll give it a go, as Klopp would say. The team will give it a go and see what happens on the other side. But I'm going to go 3-0 against Watford the weekend. I'm going to go Salah with a brace and LUISDIAZ to continue his fantastic. He's got 2 already to get his 3rd goal. What are you going to go, Jack? And goal scorers too?
It's going to go big again. I know I said this against Leeds. My spider senses are tingling. To say, I'm going to go 5-0. I think the crowd, the players, they just want this. I know they've been all of them being away with international. I know Robbo didn't go with Scotland, but a lot of them being in the training facility, and they just want to, like us, you just want the games out the way and just focus. But I'm going to go 5-0. I think the boys will be back to business, back at Anfield, where I think the majority of all of our games at Anfield, which is a good positive. But yeah, I'm open. I haven't heard anything from my mates and that or anything on social media. Pretty sure there'll be thousands of people before the coach, and I'm hopefully they do that and just make it one last big push till now at the end of the season.
5-0. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you remember, we actually did beat them. Was it 5-0 we beat them? And I think Salah got 4, wasn't it? That was 5-0 that game.
Yeah. I had the same feelings about Leeds. Like, it was only two, 3 goals off, winning like a grand half. It wouldn't let me put it. It was so stupid. I was like, oh, when you go to the game and you haven't put a bet on or something, and you're like, you sat there.
Get your scorelines in, guys, in the comments and your goal scores if you want, because we're going to go in about 2 or 3 minutes. Ivan,
no
hat-trick
scoreline
as well.
Yeah, I'm going 3 as well, but I think Bobby with 2 and 1 for Mo.
Mo to continue his craziness against Watford. Claire Dean is going 4-0. Putting the jeepers up City. Well, as I say, City kick off literally. Liverpool will be in the showers or doing their interviews after the game. City be out on the pitch getting ready to rock. So it's all about putting pressure on. I think that's why it's so important to win on Saturday. Eamon Kelly's going 2-0. Early kickoff. Well, yeah. I'm just hoping, as I said, I think it was Steve Hoare from Redmond TV the other day. It's like when you leave your car, you have a car in the garage for 2 weeks and you come back from your holidays. If it's certainly an older car, an experienced car, a classic car, you're afraid it won't fucking start after 2 weeks. So I want Liverpool to start. I want that battery to be charged, baby. That's what I'm talking about. I want to have that charger in the back pocket just in case the bleeding battery won't start. So, but I think it will. I think we'll be focused and ready to rock. Doug from Doug Football Channel's in the house. 5-0 is Doug. Okay. Same as Jackie Boy. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Prazel is saying if we win 5-0, then it could be a statement. More pressure on City and the empty head statement. Absolutely. How's Trent's injury, hamstring? Jack seems to think he'd be okay for the weekend, so it was only a niggle. I'm not quite sure, but I don't want to rush him. I just do not want to rush him back.
Great, I wouldn't rush him if he's not right. Leave him out next week as well. Need him for City.
Like, why rush him? Yeah, Watford game, and you've got Benfica, you got a City game sandwich, and you've a semi against City. There's just no reason to be rushing him in. Helen's going absolutely mental here. 10-0. Salah with 6. Bobby with 2. Luidia with 2. That'd be good for the goal difference.
Just putting pressure on Helen, then there's doing that. City we're
going to win 1-0. There'll be a penalty in the 90th minute.
I'll tell you what, that'd be hard to attack City. Look, I just want to win the game, as I say. No injuries. Move on to the next fucking game. Or actually, maybe watch City as well. Keep an eye on City, but just win Saturday. I'm confident we'll win. We're in a great place, guys. Hit the like, hit the share. Join us on the Anfield Express. This train is leaving the platform as of tonight. It's leaving the platform when this fucking video goes dead. And the next stop is Watford, and who knows where it's going to stop after that, Jack. It could be an FA Cup. It could be a 20 league title, or it even could be number 7 in Paris against possibly even Man City again.
Going back to Paris.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Ridiculous.
Yeah, and enjoy it, Reds. We all will. Whatever happens the next coming weeks, just enjoy every bloody second. If it doesn't go good or bad, just sod it. Just enjoy it. It's what we support the Reds and up to Reds, up to mighty Reds. And cheers, Dave, for having me on.
No problem. Jack Mack, we all know who he is. Check out his channel on YouTube. He's even on TikTok now. Jackie boy. Is that right, Jack? You doing a bit of gaming, is it?
No, just doing me content, mate. Just doing it on TikTok. Show me stuff I do on YouTube with Liverpool and that. So obviously, it's a bit more. I'll probably speak to you after the show, mate. Obviously, but it's a lot more better in terms of advertising your content and that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Listen, guys, Ivan in the house as well. Thank you very much for coming on. I'm sure I'll see you soon. Ivan and Jack Mack, guys in the chat from all around the world. The LFC family is alive and well, and we are going to go for the 4. We'll give it a good go, and I think that's all we can really ask, isn't it, guys? Be happy with it. Your health is your wealth. Stay safe. This